Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It's been a while since I've done a Town Star video, mostly because they stopped the weekly competitions since early January, end of December. They were running into too many issues, especially when they did the changeover to the snowy look that you see here on the screen. Uh, they, they just every single time they launched the weekly challenge, they've gone and they've had some issues with it. So I've been playing it. I've been doing the monthly servers just to get my town coin, but I haven't really pushed really hard on it. So I recently jumped back into it, especially after the news that they posted this week. That gives me some hope that the weekly challenges are coming back. For those of you that are not familiar with the Townstar Weekly Challenges, Townstar is a game on the Gala network. They do, they used to, and they will be doing weekly challenges where you're competing against everybody else that plays Townstar, and the top 400 would get Gala, which is the coin on the Gala network. They would get a portion of Gala depending on where you placed. Anyone that placed outside that 400 did not earn anything. So you can understand that it was popular and it was very, very important once those weekly challenges started right at noon my time, that you were on there right away to find the best plot of land possible. It's the only way that you would do well is if you got a good plot of land and you started right away. So that caused a lot of traffic to the servers, which caused a huge problem that they've been working on for the last 2 months, a little over 2 months. And we haven't heard a ton of updates other than them putting new products out there and selling more NFTs, but they haven't really provided much detail around that. They did come out with a few announcements this week, basically saying that the weekly competitions are coming again soon. I have not seen a date for the weekly competitions, but the good news is they're coming in the next few weeks, assuming nothing else, they don't run into any other issues. And what's even more important is there's two huge updates or changes that could impact you, whether you do the weekly competition or you just do your daily grind. I want to say, pushing for town coin. We'll start off with the first update that they announced, and this is the Dynamic Star Challenge update. In the past, prior to this most recent reset, it was 1,000 star, and when I say star, I'm talking about up here. It was 1,000 of this in order to get your town coin for the day. Whether it was like for me, you're only getting one for the Express Depot, or if you're one of those that has a ton of NFTs and you're getting hundreds a day, you needed that 1,000, which was relatively straightforward. It was pretty easy to get once you got past that initial. Once you get past the gasoline phase, it's actually really easy to get 1,000 stars a day. Uh, so what they've done is they've gone through the process and they've changed that. Now it's dynamic. So every day you achieve the town star requirement, the next day the requirement gets up a little higher and a little higher and a little higher. The thing that they did was they reduced day one. So day one is only 500 instead of 1,000, and then every day after that, where you go for this requirement, it's an extra 250 stars, which for the first week is pretty easy. As you get higher, you get in the thousands, and by day 31 of a monthly cycle, it's 8,000 star, which to be honest with you is still relatively easy. By the time you get to what I am now, uh, getting that 8,000 stars a day doesn't take very long. And this is still a very early build. If you take a look at this, the main thing I'm sawing right here is wool thread. I could even just stay with the wool, but I'm just building some wool thread, or sorry, wool yarn. And it's getting pushed through pretty quickly. So just keep in mind if you're doing that, I put together a quick table, and it might be a little hard to read, but essentially day one is 500 star requirement. And it goes up by 250. As you can see, by the end of the week, heck, by the end of day four, you're already beyond what it was before as far as the requirement goes, and it goes up substantially as you go down the list. I still don't think it's super challenging to get. I think it's pretty easy, especially if you get your base build in there. You just let it run, and you're good to go for the day's requirements. Um, but I like the fact that they added that additional challenge that you need to get more instead of just because before I was able to jump in 2 minutes, let it process an order, and then I was done for the day and got my coin. And there's some easy builds. There's some easy builds that you can do in order to meet the requirements. Check out my channel for other Town Star videos. The grape one was working so easy. Um, it's not great for the weekly challenge, but it's easy for your daily town coin requirement. Even this wool yarn, even wool in general, as long as you can let it run for a little bit, is super easy. So that's major change number one, and major change number two is probably more important for those that actually do the weekly challenge. I the only NFT that I have is that Express Depot, and for all you that have the Express Depot, it really doesn't provide any advantage at all, especially in the weekly challenges when you're competing against others that have the stands and the water towers and all those other bonuses that they paid thousands of dollars for. You're really at a disadvantage if you have no legitimate NFTs. And unfortunately, it got to the point where if you didn't have any NFTs, you had very, very little chance of getting in the top 400 for the weekly challenge. What they've done is they've actually gone through the process and they've extended that. It's not just the top 400 anymore, it's the top 1,000, which is great for people like myself that don't have any, that only have the Express Depot NFT. Um, so there's a much better chance that I can fall into uh, the top 800. I think it's actually the last time we did a challenge to get in the top 800 was pretty easy, and to get a reward of $40 of Gala, which is a little over 80 to 100 Gala, depending on when you're watching this video, um, is big to do that. And if you're able to improve and get in the top 600, that is 120 to 150 Gala, depending on the time you're watching this video. So this extension to the top 1,000 is great. It's obviously going to cause more people to really compete, and I think it'll help push the competition of the weekly challenge because it got to the point where people got a day or two in, and if they're too far behind, they just gave up because there was no chance of them getting in 400. Now you have the chance of getting in 1,000 and still getting rewards for it. So this would be a lot of fun when they open it back up and start doing the weekly challenges. The other thing that they're pushing really hard throughout this entire process is that they are doing a better job at getting constraints in place to stop the botters, uh, people that are doing the negative botting, um, the negative hacks, the issues that they were having uh, that were giving them, they could get thousands of stars in a minute from day one, and they were just running rampant in the top 100. That were just a lot of people that were hacking and trying to get around the system. So that's another big effort that they're going through to try and improve. The last thing that they announced in this announcement was the early access period. This is essentially the period when you first log into Townstar. It lets you know that you're in the early access. You don't need a pass. You don't need to pay an additional fee in order to play. They've actually extended that, which is great. There's a lot of people that were worried that they're going to make us start paying just to play beyond the NFT charges. I'm so that's great that they extended. But this is probably my favorite part right here, the fact that they expanded the prizes to the top 1,000 instead of the top 400. I hope you all enjoy this kind of video. Check Townstar out. Um, if you're even if you don't have NFTs, if you want to try and compete in the weekly challenges, you can still win Gala, still win money that will allow you in time to buy some NFTs. Um, if you want to do the Townstar daily challenge, uh, then you will need an NFT, and the lowest NFT is the one that I have, the one that I showed you, the Express Depot. That is the cheapest, easiest one to get, and it gives you one Townstar day, which, to be honest with you, one a day isn't worth a lot right now, It's about 9 cents. Um, and the cheapest NFTs in Townstar are thousands of dollars. So this process alone, just to get one Townstar day, I wouldn't recommend. It's not really worth your time. But if you're doing this process every day to hone your skills for the weekly competition, especially the fact that they expanded it to 1,000, it's a lot more valuable now than it was before. So I hope you all enjoy this kind of video. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you.